This question is for Professor Wang. China is not easily compared to any Western country in terms of the diversity of views in its media or social media regarding COVID-19. Does this make policymaking more focused in Beijing?
Let me turn on. Okay. Thank you, Jonathan. Very good question. I feel very, to my honestly, I think that the China's voice in the international society are so weak, are very, very weak. Few people in the world can listen what Chinese think, what China government did in the past many years, especially since the Deng Xiaoping period in the past 40 years. But I think that was a very, very important reason. I don't believe it or not. China is it has a very long civilization, but China is a very young and modern state, modern country. So it's very young. China it's a very conservative country, which are not very good to communicate with the international society. So I think that as a think tank scholar, what I did every day, even every day, I often engage with my official friends. Even right now, a few minutes ago, one of very important officials, he sent a WeChat to me, and I asked them, I persuade him to learn from you. I said, this seminar, this symposium are very, very important. We, Chinese government, should organize such a symposium, such a seminar like we did now. So I think that, but on the other hand, China, I believe that China will learning by doing. Maybe 10 years later or long years later, they will do much better than now. But for my foreign friends, one of my very useful and pragmatic suggestion is that how to say, I think that try your best to search what the China government thinking or say. Like I said right now, for the new Cold War, all the Chinese people, all the Chinese officials don't need Cold War. For the conflict between China and the United States, President Trump every day Twitter and talking about China, but President Xi Jinping of China never mentioned about the United States. China keep the patience with the United States. So I think that just try to learn to understand a new China, a modern China. Of course, on the other hand, help China to engage with the world. So this is my answer, Jonathan.
Thank you, Professor Wang. Dr. Bruni, could you tell me what it looks like to you in this shootout between the US and China over COVID in Australia?
I was actually quite struck by what Professor Wang just said, but also his earlier comment about, trying to put down our cudgels and focus on our efforts with regard to COVID-19. I think that he and I would be of an agreement with regard to, I think that would be a lovely idea. However, right now, under current conditions, I can't see that happen. Because one of the things that's been missing in this whole debate, I think, is one word: diplomacy. Diplomacy seems to have also been one of the casualties of this information war we've been conducting, not only with the Chinese, but also among ourselves. You know, we like the baser instinct. We're always looking for that kind of bit of entertainment in our factoids, so we feel good about ourselves, or we can mock someone, or, you know, do that kind of thing. That is not a good look for us. And quite frankly, the lack of diplomacy is a net detriment to us. And by diplomacy, I mean, it doesn't mean that we have to actually unify. Professor Wang and I will probably have many disagreements with regard to, you name it, South China Sea, whatever. You know, I'm an Australian, you know, I love my country. You're in China, you love your country, and that's great. And I respect that. But diplomacy doesn't require us to see each other from the same perspective. What it does require us to do is respect each other, okay? So you have a different view, I have a different view. I'll push, you push. Eventually, we'll come to the middle. And the other thing about diplomacy too, which you raised, sir, if you don't mind me saying, is that, you know, World War II, you brought up World War II. Well, yes, World War II was very important because, you know, the Western Allies cooperated with Stalin. I don't think that there was anything that Churchill or Roosevelt or even Truman wanted from the Soviet Union in terms of importing Soviet culture or whatever. It was just that they had the greater threat of Adolf Hitler, and they cooperated in spite of their differences. And we are not getting there. And this is a problem. It's a problem here in Australia because I hear all the shrill cries about this, that, and the other. And I know that from my great CNN watching these days, leading up to the presidential election, I mean, there's a lot of this sort of political shenanigans going on, and you do get caught up. I mean, I don't think that people can't see that this tide is washing all over us, and it's breaking down civility. But anyway, that's where I stand.
Jonathan, you didn't turn on your voice. No voice, Jonathan.
Huh?
Okay, I'm back.
Can I have some?
Go ahead.
Okay, John. Actually, I agree with you that partly that we should respect each other. Of course, like we did now. About China's diplomacy, I think that I agree partly with you that China should do much better than before. Should keep open, sustainable open policy, and keep the engaged dialogue with every countries. And for those points, I agree totally. But on the other hand, that is one of my suggestions is that I think that for West, especially for United States, Trump administration, they should respect China too. Nowadays is that a lot of think tank and media in the West, they identify or report China as a second Soviet Union. I think this is unfair. This is not correct. China is not a second Soviet Union. And also, you look at the past 40 years. China is a unique big power without war, without launching war, without involving war. So of course, we have a few attention with neighbor, but you know, China has 22 neighbor countries. We have so many contradictions with neighbor countries. But even that, you look at the history in the past 40 years, no any war with the neighbor countries, right? Not like the Soviet Union did, not like the United States did. How many wars U.S. launched in the past 40 years.
Let's step in because
So
we're
I,
getting.
so, so I think that just keep calm and respect each other, like you said, John, and dialogue each other. Nowadays, we are in a very dangerous period between China and the US. I thought many months ago, in February or in March, we should sit together and discuss how to deal with the virus. But in the past 4 or 5 months, we didn't. But for China side, we sell a lot of masks to United States. You guess how many? 10 billion. No. 20 billion masks China sell to United States, help United States people, American people. So and also, if you listen, our foreign minister, Mr. Wang Yi, always talking about we should dialogue with the United States, but no any response from the White House, from the Mr. Pompeo, no any dialogue, no any cooperation. So I think that I agree with you, respect each other and listen each other. Thank you.
Okay, that's great.